actually is just the only role that really matters as much as any analyst will tell you, El. It is only jungle.
That's how it works.
Solo Q was right. All along.
I do need to point out as well that the only team that has selected red side is top lane, and I love that. I love it so much because it's only top laners that need counter.
Yeah, give you R5. R5.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Oh, it's just so good. It's so perfect.
If DuDu now doesn't pick Fiora or something similar, I will be very disappointed. I do not.
I want Riven. I really want Riven.
Oh, yes. And if we get Cassante versus Sion, I will.
No, if it's Cassante, it's DnDn playing jungle Cassante. It's got to be.
The Lucid respect. You gotta
love to see it. You love to see it. The Graves are going to be taken away as well. Big giggles from DnDn, but that is to be expected. He's DnDn. Of course, a big shout out to a couple of years ago, where in the Challenger final, DnDn faced off against Lucid.
And beat him.
Beat him as a 0-7 Jax, if I remember.
Yeah, 1-7 or 0-7 by split pushing. And if you're like, why didn't they just stop the split push? It was challengers. They didn't know what hit them. You know, these kids were like 16. They like haven't seen League where split pushing was a thing. Has not been around for a while. And mad genius DnDn was able to make it work. And of course, Team
Oner is
Jungle,
100% playing top lane.
No, of course you. This is what I love, is that every role is such a cliche, but it just was, of course Team Jungle is going to be one Lee.
Oh, and DuDu is going to be one Cassante.
Oh, don't do it.
Oh no, the Varus has gotten through for the very first time.
Zeus? Or for DuDu?
For anyone. Kiin, thinking about the Orianna, I was kind of selfishly hoping that he just played Ryze because his Ryze is so incredibly good. We've seen it multiple times, even at Worlds last year. But it is going to be the Orianna in his hands this time around.
Why did you have to remind me of KT at Worlds? Oh. They were so good.
They were.
They didn't matter.
They had a pretty rough draw time, but it was so
they were
beautifully KT.
Good.
They were, yeah.
It just wasn't. It wasn't enough as DnDn will be locking Nocturne here.
Actually, if you're not very used to playing jungle, Nocturne is exactly the right champion. It is in fact my default jungler because you can never really get it wrong.
I just figured you'd play Garen.
I've played Nocturne with you multiple times.
I know.
But I would try to play Garen at any opportunity. That is going to be a Ziggs lock in here. Could be Sylvie, could be Lucid, could be anyone. But likely to be towards the bottom lane if history or recent history says anything.
Yeah, Sylvie also said that was one of his favorite champions to play off-roll. And Team Top, this composition, I kind of love it already. You have a lot of backline dive. You have Orianna to set up with the Rakan or with the Nocturne. Both can really make sure that you can go for these big type of shockwave plays. We'll see to what extent Kiin is able to make it work. But LeBlanc and Lee, that's a strong combo as long as Lucid doesn't also go full AD LeBlanc.
I have a feeling he may not do the same thing as aiming.
I don't think he will.
I think the inclination will be less skewed towards trying to turn every champion into an AD carry. So I expect that this will be more the burst variety.
Yeah, I know AD LeBlanc also has been like, it's like kind of the revived Shiv LeBlanc, but
I believe a lot of the changes did they get reverted eventually or not? We don't have like the full official patch notes, but we did see that was a consideration.
Yeah, and also in theory it makes sense, right? Because you can, but I think Split Push specifically just relies so heavily on you being able to coordinate with your team and
he took an inner top lane turret.
Yeah, he did. So this is obviously AD carry. There is no way Team Top Lane is going to blind top.
Oh, heck no.
They would never.
And that is Azario. So from what I've seen in his solo queue, this has been the champion that he's elected to try to play.
How do you know?
The success levels have been middling at best, I think would be a nice way of putting it. However, he's been playing it. That's the main thing.
He has locked it in before.
And you get to press a lot of buttons. And we know that Zeus is very good at pressing buttons. Oh, man. I was half expecting Jarvan support, just because Peanut actually played it competitively as well. I believe Peanut has played it once competitively. I know Spirit definitely did.
Oner, I don't know about that. I don't know if you should pick a skill matchup into DuDu. That is
blind pick.
He's not afraid. I mean, to be fair, if you're playing a tank, that's also bad.
Okay.
And he's doing it. Okay, DuDu.
Or okay,
Lucid. This is a dream.
top lane LeBlanc.
Oh my god, don't remind me.
There we go. Why not? It was DnDn.
You're right.
And he had a great time when he was doing it. It's just so sad that he can't build Divine Sunderer anymore. Oh dear. Well, Rascal, what do you have for us, or what do you have for DuDu, is the question. Doesn't fully know what he's against, but there are some opportunities, and there is the Jax lock-in. And Oner, you can see nodding to himself. He's like, yep, got this, got this. We'll see whether he's indeed got this, as we expect that it is going to be a Yone matchup, because it does look like Oner has relinquished the Lee Sin into the hands of Gideon.
Yeah, it's gotta be. And
unless it's jungle blitz,
I can't wait to see what is gonna happen. No. There we go. Everything's okay. So I quite like the composition of team top, but the wombo, I thought the wombo was going to be better for team top, but with how it panned out, it's more of a 1-4 style composition. You have...
Yeah, the DnDn has been confirmed. It is the top lane LeBlanc.
Wait.
Yeah. So DuDu thought that he was going to have an honest matchup into another fighty guy, but instead...
But doesn't he? I don't know. I don't even know what to expect from that.
You don't know the Jax LeBlanc matchup?
Well, I imagine that it should be good for LeBlanc if you play perfectly, but what I think will happen is Oner will overstep and die to Jax, and then it'll be a bit of a disaster.
I haven't seen Oner's jungle LeBlanc that much, so I'm not sure how many games he's put in on the channel.
But this is the true top laner experience. Thinking you get a fun counter matchup and then dealing with a ranged top laner.
Yeah.
But team top, I think the composition is quite decent, is somewhat reliant on getting some mid game going. We'll see if they're able to.
Exactly. Let's jump onto the Rift here for the next game. We're not even attempting fan chance this time?
No, they gave up. I think after the last ones didn't quite pan out.
Yeah.
So we are just full AD LeBlanc again.
Yep.
But this time it's actually, I like it a lot more because they do have Ziggs. So I'm okay with it now.
Yeah, it also doesn't have to be full AD. I guess you could just go like the Shiv at the beginning, get out of lane type situation, but it will be full AD.
We both know, unfortunately.
Yep. And maybe this could actually just be very much a sign of things to come in the 14.1 meta, assuming some of those changes have been reverted to the LeBlanc, letting her back towards her relatively oppressive, more AD-biased ways, to put it as lightly.
Also means Lucid is playing a melee mid laner again, and I think some of those skills, you know, maybe they're transferable.
100%.
See if he's able to do well. As Akali was very impressive. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay.
Because DuDu swapped.
He did. So
and
he's
then
in mid.
Followed.
And so they're like, all right, I guess we will just do it that way. As the orb comes in, Lucid gives Kiin the thumbs up.
Okay.
And we just have a bit of a change.
But this should be better for DuDu.
But also, I just love it that even now, we've got Kiin playing a mage in top lane. Once again. Yeah. Even though he's a mid laner, he is once again back to just playing a mage in top lane. This is just how it should be.
Yeah, and now Lucid is having the unfortunate situation of being in a much longer lane. So while I think on that one hand DuDu is going to be happier, because in mid lane, even though obviously you're still going to be playing melee into range, which can be quite tough, in a longer lane, setting up super oppressive lane states is so much easier. Because you're able to zone your opponent off of the wave way easier than you otherwise would, because if the jungler shows up, you need to really respect. Doesn't help DuDu right now though, and I expect that as we see Oner, you know, if you can choose to lock...
Oh, yeah. He misses the cannon.
As I was about to say,
jungler,
he's a jungler. Yeah, that's kind of to be expected. And DuDu also isn't CSing, so it's a win.
No, absolutely. 100%. We actually haven't seen the champions get switched over just yet. The Observer's not going to go that far.
Yeah, they might also have more swaps ahead of us, so...
Yeah. I can't remember the exact year. Was it 2019, where part of the game of being an Observer was getting the lanes correct?
Because of the lane swap meta?
Yeah, it was very difficult. Jonas Strong got very good at it in the end.
As he does at everything.
as DuDu just trying to get the CS where he can find it. Oh, turret shot going to be taken here by Oner, so that is not great news.
Yeah, that's big actually, because that also was bone plating gone, so DuDu might look for an all-in on the level up here. We do see DnDn match Gideon, but with mid lane going the way it is, I don't think he can really contest. Will mean that there might be a double crab angle here for Gideon. As a bot lane.
Could be in trouble here. Zeus trying to get on over, looking for some zaps onto this Blitzcrank as Rascal just dances on over. Yeah, we do have Gideon lurking.
And Peanut didn't even have to use a summoner. He's just fine.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just Blitzcrank, I guess.
I think the threat of Gideon running behind them and violently murdering them definitely a good deterrent. Lucid is doing his best, but this matchup in mid already kind of painful. In top, definitely worse. So then the question becomes, is it worth that DuDu is now feeling a lot better? And I'd say it probably is. DuDu's Jax. Well, he does need to not die.
Yeah, he may be feeling worse now.
He's fine.
He's fine. He's all right. Oner going to have that passive procced once again. But now DuDu is looking for a little bit of an escape. Rascal rotating towards this mid lane. This is pretty cute. See whether Oner does go overly aggressive.
In theory, lane ganks also should be a lot better, given that setting up side lane ganks is way harder as Lucid. He's holding on to his teleport for as long as he possibly can. Oh, Kiin pulls the wave as well. God. Oh, yeah, this is not fun. Post 6, though, it should be a little bit better, because Kiin at the very least has to respect a lot more, as you can see that Oner really wants to get the cancel, but DuDu is ready. See if they're able to actually get a collapse onto Oner here.
I'm getting really confused, by the way, Chronicler, because I looked down and I instinctively assumed that Oner bought 3 daggers. I was like,
yeah,
that is a new LeBlanc build, but that is in fact Yone, and that makes complete sense. Void Grub's going to be taken here by Gideon. He said 2 level lead, currently has a 1 level lead. Of course, DnDn wants to be farming, probably wants to be farming at a bit of a higher speed than this. I think Gideon has been making his life a little bit difficult, as these Void Grubs are going to be taken down. So Gideon able to provide a little bit of extra help to his team. There we go. Secured. So we'll see whether he can actually get enough in order to get these Void Grubs out. As Kiin going to get ulted here by Lucid. Finds a knock-up as well, but does have to rebind. Now Gideon and Peanut, they're looking for the opportunity. Shockwave comes in. Lucid gets another knock-up. Kiin gets the bad news. Turret is going to get aggressive onto Peanut here, but it looks like they've juggled enough. Flash out from Gideon. That is going to secure the dive. Lucid will also get a plate and give the good old thumbs up. Kiin with no teleport either. Oh, bad news for the top laners.
And even with the new Rift, not an opportunity for Kiin to stay alive there. And this is the flip side to what we said earlier. In the 1v1, going to be feeling a lot better playing towards the top side of the map with the Orianna. But in this type of situations when you're getting dove, it is a lot harder for you to stay alive when you are in the longer lane. When the crash does come through, not a whole lot you can do. Is DnDn sees Oner. He is a level down, and I think in general, I don't know if he wins this. There is Lee, but they are a member up.
Yeah.
DnDn is just going.
They know exactly where everyone is, as now DuDu dives in. Oner distorts away. Gideon is just going to put a T-Towel on him. This is safeguard, and that is going to get them out. So, Crab secured by the top laners.
As Zeus trying to stay alive here. Can't take too much poke damage, but currently sitting at full health, so not going to be too worried. And one of the benefits that we didn't really talk about of the Ziggs, as we saw, is that Peanut has a lot more time to roam due to Ziggs' innate wave clear being as good as it is. Does mean that Zeus built up a little bit of a lead, but nothing too spooky as of right now. And you see Team Jungle with a slight lead thanks to the kill that they were able to pick up. And some of the laning leads is DuDu.
Okay, the ulti does come through here from DuDu, but he gets chained up. And it allows Oner to get out. Doesn't have to use flash. Not too much to worry about there.
At the same time, though, this should even up the farm. This is DuDu going to be able to get this next wave pushed in and make his way back as Kiin. He is getting the top lane treatment, even though he's back in mid.
And it doesn't matter where he goes. It feels like Kiin always has this experience. Oh, phenomenal sidestep. And there is the paranoia. In goes DnDn, finds the shockwave as well does Kiin, as Peanut is not long for the world. Ulti comes through from Lucid, but it's not the greatest one that we've seen. And now Zeus is in there. Extendo Beam doesn't find the mark. The junglers scatter. That is an answering kill here from the top laners. And this one's feeling neck and neck, Chronicler.
And it starts off with an attempted play towards Kiin. Flash forward.
But top laners stand by top laners, Chronicler. Kiin will not be abused in this game. It's not happening. They all know how it feels.
Reinforcement were there. Starts off with DnDn. Now we saw that combo with the Orianna as Peanut goes for round number 2.
Let's see whether he can find it here. As Lucid's relatively low. Kiin doesn't have a lot of buttons available, nor does he have a flash. And the hook, it's going to go wide, and Kiin gets out. Oh, they just didn't have enough.
Doesn't even have phase rush.
He doesn't look phased at all.
Oh!
All right.
Unbothered is the man in the mid lane. Kiin absorbing 2 ganks. Oner will be benefiting from this just a little bit. But I gotta say, this one looking really close thus far. And I can't wait to see what happens when we get to the actual fights. Would expect Team Jungle to have a little bit of an edge there if they can line up those ultimates, particularly Lucid and Sylvie's, but there's a bit of a finicky comp on their end. I think the composition of Team Top, it's so straightforward. You press R on DnDn, and then everyone dives, and if you can get an ultimate, you know, if you can get a Shockwave or a Rascal with some setup, you're going to be feeling amazing. Now, DnDn wants to try and deny picking up too many Void Grubs here, because if you pick up enough, that does mean that Team Jungle is going to be able to use the pushing power of these objectives, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
Yeah, DnDn is going to deny it. So there we go. You need 5 out of 6 at least. And so we are going to split them down the middle. That means that no extra power going to be going over towards the junglers. And DnDn staying within touching distance as far as farm is concerned. 7-8, so still that 1 level lead. And Zeus here down to... Oh, Sylvie in a bit of trouble. The flash comes out, and the hook is not going to land. Zeus just pops him like a balloon. Peanut not going to be able to do anything here. And Sylvie, you can see a bit of a grin on his face, looking a bit sheepish after that one, as Zeus going fully aggressive in the bottom lane.
That's that top lane killer instinct. Just sees an opportunity, all ins, and that's one of the situations where as Zik, you're always got to be extremely careful. If he's actually able to knock Zeus directly away from him, might have been enough. Also, fortunately for him, Peanut not able to stick with his bot laner. That's a big win. And that will also mean a dragon being taken here. DuDu still taking a beating.
Gideon getting on in there. 2 versus 1 in the pit right now as Peanut's trying to get on over. That is the flash in, steals away the Drake. Now DnDn has to flash away as well. Paranoia comes down. DnDn realizes he's not long for the world, and Lucid's trying to ult his way forward. Shockwave to push them into the wall, but Team Top are scattering. That is a beautiful combo from Gideon. Manages to take down the Rakan. Peanut will just get burnt to death. Peanut gives him the good old thumbs up as he goes down, and Team Jungle with a team fight win. Meanwhile, DuDu towards his top side trying to deal with Oner, but Oner just puts him on a leash and is going to be able to deal with that one quite nicely. Lucid grabbing more plate gold 2 minutes before they fall.
It just all comes back to better jungler wins.
I know.
I'm a bit flabbergasted. Team Jungle with the turnaround there, even though the individual play of Zeus towards the bot side, very well executed, right? Able to take down Sylvie, flashes after him. Sylvie, unfortunately, doesn't quite find the knockback that he's looking for. But here, that's not even with a Q. That was just a combination of ult and smite, and Peanut finding the hook there. Really, really big, and Gideon gets to play jungle. Looks wonderful. Look at Peanut here. Whip! He walks up.
The good old walk away ignite. And G-Sun just informed us. Gideon said, this is me. This is what I've got. And look, I think it's fantastic that they're sharing around the jungle role between the junglers. Because all of them, you know, want a chance to be the kings of the Rift. And they're demonstrating right here. 3,000 gold the lead. And Team Jungle, not to be underestimated today. Already taking down Team Support in our first match. And currently in a good position against Team Top. Although, not the same one. As a hook will connect. And he's trying to get out. The leap strike does get interrupted. The flash has to be used, and then Oner finishes him off. Beautifully played between Peanut and Oner towards the top side.
And now the game is starting to become harder and harder and nigh unplayable here. Once you start losing in this 1v1, you lose so much pressure. And Oner is going to get first turret blood here. Zeus, maybe he gets Peanut, but I don't think he can really go for anything. And the fact that the top lane team gets kind of boomed by a lane swap is very funny to me, as we do see here, that was just on the edge.
And the knockup right as the leap strike was coming in as well.
Cancels that.
He's the god of LeBlanc, that's what he said. Can't confirm or deny, but he's playing very well in this game. Zeus going to join the rest of his team. Top laners have set up to try and take down Shelly. Oner is in the area, just trying to be annoying. Peanut, the bomb flies in, but DnDn, great smite there. Try and lock that one down. Lucid doesn't find the ulti yet again, as the quickness is in there. Doesn't quite charm up too much, though. The Rakan's already dead. DnDn's going to go down as well. Kiin is on the floor. Zeus, the next one that they're looking for, and it's an ace here from the junglers. You may have got Shelly, but you ain't escaping with your lives.
Clean ace!
It's a quadra for Oner. Maybe he is the god of LeBlanc.
We didn't know. How are we supposed to know?
He's been shackled by his role this entire time. He just wanted to play LeBlanc, Chronicler.
And the key thing here is that by the time that we actually do have the Jax join the fight, it's already lost, right? Kiin, DnDn already taken down completely. And then Lucid, even though he doesn't end up doing that much in the initial fight, what's key here is he draws a lot of attention, which gives Oner the room to just keep hammering down these auto attacks, and then they look how much damage they focus on cooldowns into trying to kill Lucid, and it doesn't matter. Gideon with a really nice kick to buy time.
Oh, gorgeously played. Then the knockup, they managed to find Zeus, and look at the enthusiasm from these boys. There is, so the jungle role here in the LCK is probably the most vocal, and so maybe that's just what it is. It's just a plethora of yelling at each other.
It's the vibes.
And it works, and the vibes do work. As Kiin misses a cannon, and we all know what that means for Kiin. Not exactly his favorite thing in the world. Still trying to stay safe, trying to clear out this wave as much as possible.
And Team Top, they were in the best spot.
Yeah.
Crushed the minigames.
Yeah. That's why but that's more of a solo experience, isn't it? So maybe that's what the problem is.
That is the core problem.
Yeah. Oh, Kiin gonna find Rascal, doesn't waste any time diving in. All right, kick flash, manages to find Kiin, and he's dead. They wanted to give the kill over, but he's dead a little bit too fast. Gideon looking for even more here as Oner trying to go up against his teammate here towards the bottom side of the map. It's not quite working out, especially with DuDu there. But with DuDu there, it means that this Ziggs is unchecked. And Oner's going to be able to get out. Teleport to come forward here from Lucid as well. But it's not exactly his favorite moment. Still, he's going to be able to keep the turret alive. And Team Top, they are on the ropes.
Meanwhile, Sylvie already got one turret. He's being ignored.
He's living his best life at this point in time as Peanut. He might be in a rough position, or maybe this is exactly where he wants to be. Zeus in trouble. Lucid has closed the gap, and down he goes. The unbound Soul, he wants to get back though, gets a nice knock-up as that's a decent one from Rascal as well. They managed to take down the Yone, but can they do better? DnDn's trying to get the work done, and they get two at least for now. There's a third one as Peanut goes down. Oner now trying to do what he can, but they're splitting the DP. Oh, never mind. They managed to get one onto Kiin. The dive forward, DnDn is trying to be unleashed, but Sylvie turns up and he's going to be able to take down the Nocturne. Now he has a health advantage. Yeah, leap strike to get DnDn out, and there's the triple.
Rascal.
Team Jungle are too good, man. They're just too good.
Rascal with the assist. and Team Jungle, I think this is actually why they're psychopaths. Gideon just goes into Fog of War, into a Nocturne, knows that he has the backup. And I want you to watch Sylvie while all of this is going on. You might be thinking that this is about Gideon, you know, setting up a play, or Oner almost getting taken down and then Lucid teleporting out. No, the real story is Sylvie just pushing and then getting a double.
The fact that Rascal had Battle Dance pre-channeled is pre-cut is just not. It wouldn't make you feel that great. You can see on the player cam there, he was smirking just a little bit as DnDn not going to be bringing the dusk to Oner.
It should have been Rise.
It should.
That's what I'm learning here.
Yeah. That being said, it is not over till it's over, even though it is looking pretty over. Have to see whether the top laners can keep their Nexus alive.
I do have mixed emotions about a team made up of 5 mixed junglers being able to utilize Ziggs's kit better than many LCK teams that I've seen in the past.
I didn't want to mention it, you know, but...
No, but there's actually like both the pushing and then setting up the dive and then immediately following up with the ultimate, like, do quite well.
I mean, I just feel like Team Jungle has demonstrated really great macro calls at the same time.
Team Jungle all along?
I think it was. Better jungler wins.
Should we have known?
Well, I don't know. Maybe we didn't have to know, but that's what we're learning. And this is all about learning here today. We're experiencing the new Summoner's Rift. There are a whole bunch of new gaps and holes and brushes, things like that.
Items as well.
Yeah, items, all sorts of things. There's Void Grubs,
full
and the Baron is going to swim on up to the... I'm so glad that we managed to get this. Get the full vision.
Oh my god,
it is terrifying. It's a lot of arms, Baron. And there we go. So Baron is here, an opportunity now for Jungle, because they are very, very strong. And they also have a whole lot of damage, just in general. So
what's your favorite Baron? Mine is all-seeing Baron. There was territorial and hunting as well.
I guess I probably like hunting.
You are a good monster hunter.
Yeah. And in other games, I have played hunter-esque characters. So maybe that's me.
Oh yeah, in one of the board games we're going to be playing, I have a hunter, but he just uses axes instead. You're going to love that.
That's cool. I'm into that.
Yeah. He also yoinks away all the money from the rest of his teammates as well.
Ooh, that sounds like a bit of a me thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're
apologies in advance.
Nah, it's fine. That's how you're supposed to play.
We do have a team building board game day tomorrow. And the reason why we're talking about it is because this game feels well and truly over. We are very quickly approaching a 10,000 gold lead. And Mountain Salt on the Rift, a couple more Drakes, and then the junglers can pick that one up. I don't know whether we're going to get to a couple more Drakes. We'll just have to see. Top, they're relying on a miracle now. We'll see whether they can find one. DuDu quite able to deal with it. Hook is going to connect here onto DnDn, and he's just not having the greatest of times here today on the Rift. The Nocturne will be taken down. DuDu diving on top of Lucid, but Oner's there to support the flash forward. There's the ulti, and he gets tied up. The chains connect as well, and Lucid's the one that grabs the kill credit. Great support from Oner there at the same time as Zeus. Not a lot he can do about this situation. Rascal, he is grand exiting the whole situation as best he can, and this calls for a teleport to the Baron on full vision of Team Top. And I think he can do that with the Smite still dead for another 8 seconds. Rascal might just die, but is able to use that grand entrance to escape. And this Baron just going to be taken here by Team Jungle, and it could just be a repeat of what we saw in game number 1 today.
And we were thinking that Team Support, you know, they're just not that good. Maybe we were wrong all along, and what we really should have been saying was how incredibly good Team Jungle is.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, I thought they were going to get clapped in laning phase in this one, but that wasn't even the case. And obviously, they did get some matchups that I think caught Team Top really off guard. Because I was not expecting Oner to pull out the full AD LeBlanc and actually be really good on it.
Yeah. There's a lot of unexpected things that have happened in this game. Peanut as well has just been... I feel like he's gone back in time to his, you know, his childish, his whimsical playstyle that he did have in on teams past, talking like Najin and Rox, where he was that young man with the hands. He's just having a good time here on this Blitzcrank, and was in the previous game as well.
You can't play Blitz, right? It's like Blitz, Bard. You have to play these champions like you're a silly man.
Yeah.
Just a silly gamer running around the Rift.
and just make them plays. Feels like a lot of the players today have just been really enjoying support as DnDn goes in for what is an attempted hero play. They get a decent knock up there onto the Ziggs, but Sylvie, he flashes away, and now it's Team Jungle's turn to engage. The Mega Inferno Bomb is massive, and Team Top are just left scattered on the ground. DuDu makes it back to the fountain, but he has barely any health. That's a brilliant hook from Peanut. Manages to lock him down. Zeus on the fountain will be able to keep himself alive, but you cannot really keep your Nexus alive if you're relegated to that location. And there's the knock up from Lucid as well to finish it off. Another hook from Peanut, and there goes the Nexus. Team Jungle will meet